Good morning, everybody. I am super excited to be here on Saturday at 6 a.m. We have now once again gotten a third update for the update. So this is the update to the update for the community update. It's very exciting. Players are very happy about it. The one thing I will say is that once again I am pissed off at Meathead for releasing this on a Friday night because nobody should have to do math on a Friday night. Now, before we get into that, you can see that I've already completed my bonus track. I did buy the pass this time around. Obviously, episode 1 was super easy because they accidentally gave us 25,000 currency and then ended up giving us the correct 25,000 points on top of that. So, those 5 levels on top of everything else just allowed me to explode through the track. I'm really torn on whether I'm going to buy this pass in the future. It does have an extremely high value, but I'm also a poor curmudgeon of a educator and don't have a lot of money. But let's get into Meathead's post here. All right. I'm not going to waste time going over every little thing and reading this off like I'm doing a PowerPoint in your regional offices or your district offices or at a stupid professional development that we have to sit through for 8 hours and doesn't actually apply to my job. No, I'm definitely not bitter about that. But the key points are important and we will talk about them. So what's changing in episode 2? First of all, the currency cap is increasing from 30,000 to 100,000, and this is super important because if we look at the actual store here, and I know that it was a little disingenuous this time around just because of all of the extra points being given, but basically if you've bought the pass, I'm buying things for the sake of buying things, and I'm actually going to end up having to buy more just to make sure that I stay below this cap, and that is why I'm holding these episode points here and not actually using them. So that is a super positive change. We're also going to be seeing a reduction of 10,000 points needed in order to max the track. Now, this is really front-loaded to the early game so that players that have maybe just hit level 85 are going to be able to get their currency and going to be able to get those first couple of Omicrons a little bit easier. For a mid to late game player, this just means that it's going to take 240,000 points instead of 250,000 points in order to max the track out. We're also going to be seeing a change in the quests. Now, I knew that this was going to happen. I've been telling people this for a while, that the first time that we did our episode, there was maybe not as much thought given to where different things lied on your episode track, right? We can see, as an example, it's probably not here yet, but we do have a new Galactic Challenge that appeared today. And if we go to our quests, the quest that'll actually appear in 7 hours is that Galactic Challenge quest, which is a problem, especially in that last chapter where you can't just wait until Monday or Tuesday, I guess now, whatever day the next Galactic Challenge comes in order to complete it. We're also going to be seeing a change in the Conquest quest so that it appears on day 1 instead of day 2, because apparently there are some crazy people out there who red crate on day 1. I don't know how they do it. Whatever. Ridiculous, but cool. Everything else from episode 1 that has been updated, like this 300 to 350 for daily quests, is remaining the same, though I am a little bit nervous where it says it will persist in episode 2, and I am worried that it might be changed and reduced in the future. That remains to be seen. A super positive thing here, the shipments are being adjusted to add a couple of new tiers for players, right? So 2 new shipments will be added to the shipment tab, 1 additional shipment containing 2 more Omicron materials, and 1 additional shipment containing 16 micro attenators. The Chirotech salvage is increasing to 10, which is a big deal because those 2 are like nothing, and then a lot of things that are going to be related to the character shards. Now, when we talk about this here, this does a couple of things. Number 1, it really increases how viable this episode pass is going to be for a lot of players. If you just buy back your rewards from the free-to-play track, it does not leave you a lot of extra, though you do have the agency to choose to buy Omicrons. However, you get about 80,000 extra currency if you buy the episode pass, which means that you're going to be able to see up to 2 more Omicrons per week. And that's insane when this track up here is already giving you 13 Omicron materials, right? So for $20, I might have to do it every episode. My wife will kill me, but she also spends a shit ton of money at Sephora, so she might have to figure out our mortgage next month. Whew. Now, the galactic changes are a little bit interesting, and there is a lot of math involved, and we're going to get to that when we look at the Reddit post, but just know that a couple of things are happening. Number one, there are now going to be 5 feats. Okay, 2 of those are going to be basically locked, so there'll be 1 locked feat, and then there's also going to be a marquee feat. There will now be 3 feats that are free to play, okay, which will be complete the battle with any team, complete the battle with a full squad of a team, and then complete the battle while accomplishing something specific, right? So that might be throwing thermals, that might be doing stuns, whatever it is, we don't know, it'll change every time. There is going to be some shifting in the overall points, where it's just 300 episode points per tier regardless of what that tier is, whereas it'll be 450 episode points a tier for complete with a marquee and complete with an active episode pass. It is important to note that we did, or CG did, oh shit, do I work for CG? CG shill over here. It is important to note that CG has already thought about the idea that if there is no marquee available in the second half of an episode, right? So, for example, in the holiday episode, there actually is no marquees at all. There will be a second feat that is not marquee related, and instead of being worth 450 per tier, it'll be worth 300 per tier. Now, what does that mean for the players, you ask? Don't worry, because I've got you covered here. Right, we're going to click on this bad boy right over here. Here is the math to the update. Basically, total points needed to get to 50 is going to be 240,000 down from 250,000. If you're just looking to get that last Omicron, you're going to level 43, and we're going to be at 205,000 down from 215,000. We're going to skip all of this stuff right here, and you can look at that at yourself because it's not super important and nothing is changing there. And we're going to head on down over here. So after doing the free marquee feats, total points needed to get to the top of the free-to-play track is 35,400, down from 45,600, and total points needed to get to level 43 is quite literally just 400 points. Now this is based on this stuff over here, which is basically 1 new marquee, okay, and then completing whatever the other feat is if there is no new marquee at the level 2 level. If there is a new marquee, it'll actually be even less over here because this is only 600, not 900. And if there is no new marquee, it might even be even less than that because you will most likely be able to complete more than 2 tiers. But I want to be conservative here just to prove a point. So, what does that mean for galactic challenges? That means in order to get that last Omicron tier at level 43, you're going to quite literally need just 50 points per GC. All right, down from 1,325. You basically have to complete the battle on tier 1 time, and you're good. All right, so that's super player positive. And then you'll just need 4,425 total points per GC to max out the free-to-play track, down from 5,700. All right, so that is a decrease from tier 7 to an average of tier 5. It is important to notice that when we're talking about those 3 free feats, we are down from 9,450 points to 9,000 points. However, it doesn't seem to matter. This is a huge free-to-play friendly update to the update to the update. There is one more thing that did get added afterwards. Let's pull that up. A bunch of people on the event server did ask Meathead, hey, there is no marquee this time around. What's going to happen to the episode pass in relation to the shards of new marquees? And it does look like some of the newer but not new marquee shards will be added. Does that matter for someone like me? Not necessarily. It's just shard shop currency, but for a lot of people that is important, and I do largely think the pass is worth it for the materials alone. The shards are just a nice extra. With all of that said, I just want to remind everybody that I did tell you so, right? I did say it. I said it from the beginning. I knew that this would happen. I knew that it would happen quickly. I knew that we would see a change in episode 2. I'm happy that it happened. I expect more changes to happen with episode 3, right? And it is important to know that in the future, the discourse is important when there is an issue in the game, but doing it in a respectful manner, in a solution-oriented manner, is also important if we want to get capital gains to listen to us. Now, what that means is, yes, if you want to stop spending, stop spending. Yes, if you want to talk about it, talk about it. But do remember that everybody working at CG, they're people. They're people like you, they're people like me, they're people like the customer service representatives that we call and we're polite to because we know that they're working in a call center somewhere and probably don't enjoy their job, or really just general manners while we're on the internet, right? Acting like people. And with that, I will say, what can I say except I told you? Once again, Egnards is right. Well, anyway, that's right. I told you. Can't wait to start another internet fight. I told you. I told you. Peace out, guys.